We live in an era of PC gaming right now where it's almost impossible to keep all your games in one place, on one launcher. You have to open up Steam or GOG, Origin, Uplay, Epic, Itch, Blizzard. Bethesda even has their own launchers. There's just so many of them out right now. But what if I told you there was one launcher that could solve all of those problems? And it's free. My name is gregandcin, and today we're going to be taking a look at Playnite, the universal launcher that you should grab right now. So if we take a look at my PC, we have Playnite opened right now. We have the game Battlerite opened up here. We got some notifications. We can just clear those right now. This is a Steam Friends button. You know, it looks like every other launcher that you've played. There's games on the side. I have some categories that I've set up, but let's actually understand what's happening here. So if you've actually taken a look at all the games that are on the side, we have Apex Legends. That's an Origin game. Battlefield 3 has the Origin logo. Battlerite, a Steam game. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, that's a Blizzard launcher game. Well, how exactly does all of this work? Well, if we come over here to the top of the screen, we come over to settings. When we first install the launcher, it'll ask you to log into all of these services. Battle.net, Bethesda, Epic, GOG, Itch, Origin, Steam, Twitch, and Uplay, which is everything that I currently have installed and everything that I understand is supported by this launcher. I have actually logged into everything. We have Battle.net games on here, Bethesda games, Epic, GOG, Itch, everything in between. So if we take a look at just all of my multiplayer games, you can see a lot of it is Steam because that's where a majority of my library is. But if we keep scrolling down, we have Gwent, which is a GOG game. You know, you can manually add this in Steam, but you don't get all this fun information that you would normally get if you were to just add this game to any other launcher that allows that. We have Hearthstone, which I don't currently have installed right now, but that's another Blizzard game. That's in there. Let's see if we can find any other games real quick. If we take a look at some of these other categories that I haven't opened, need to finish, we have Brutal Legend, which I believe is another Steam game. Where is it? Hyperlight Drifter, there it is. This is in the Twitch launcher. So this is pretty cool if I do say so myself, just having all your games in one place. And for the most part, they have all this information that is visually appealing. It can track your time played, but we'll get into some of the limitations of that in just a bit. So if you paid attention closely in the settings tab over in the library, over in Steam, you can actually import your Steam categories so you don't have to manually set up all of these. I did myself just because I actually didn't know about that feature until later on, but you can import all of your categories and it'll automatically sort all of your games into those categories, and then you can sort all of your other launchers into those categories if you're like me and you sort your games religiously into categories. I love them. I have a need to start, a need to finish. There's a whole bunch of games that I've just started, never finished. We do want to get to that. Prince of Persia, I played that for a couple minutes. That's also on the Uplay launcher, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. But anyways, how does the launcher integrate with all of these other launchers? Because most of the time you're going to have to launch them if you want to play the game. Well, unfortunately, we can't bypass that. We do, if we want to open up Apex Legends, if we hit play, it'll start launching, and then right over here in the corner you can see Origin starting. We're connecting. I haven't logged into Origin yet on my PC, so again, there is a little bit of overhead because we have this launcher, and then we have Origin running in the background, and Apex is starting. Please stop. I can't stop it. Why do... Oh, God. But as you can see, we do have to deal with the fact that this happens. You're gonna, if you want a universal launcher, it's gonna have to hook into your other launchers, and it can't just replace it. But you get the point. If you have a whole bunch of games and a whole bunch of libraries, there's an easy way to launch it, but again, you will have to deal with other launchers happening. It's kind of like how Ubisoft has Uplay constantly launching through Steam games, but they do disable some services, which is nice, but that's besides the point. But if you're not like me and you don't like having your games all sorted, nice and neat like this, and categories that you want, you can sort it in other ways as well. There is a whole bunch of sorting options for all of these categories: name, ascending, descending, platform, library. You can just not have your games grouped if you want an alphabetical list, or you want these settings. You can group by library, which tells you which launcher the game came from. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's really kind of sad that the itch games just have the itch logo, but it does make it a little bit easier. For some reason, you have a game on itch and other platforms and saves aren't compatible. A lot of the information that is scraped from these games is either through the public APIs that the launchers themselves have, or if we take a look over here on the Playnite website, it does have igdb.com integration, which is an independent game database. You can sort by different platforms, and it has all of these cool things like user ratings and critic ratings, everything like that. There's usually a lot of stuff on here, a lot of information. They usually have everything nice and organized. So if you do just want to take a look at this website, I definitely recommend checking it out. But back to Playnite, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the launcher as well. Again, you can group by platform. You have PC, but you can also add your emulation devices. If we take a look back at the settings toolbar, if we go over to tools, we can go to, I believe it is platform and emulators, and look, there's just a whole bunch of consoles and old emulators and emulation systems that you can potentially have, or if you just have ISOs laying around for some reason, you can all have it sorted here. There's different icons for everything. You can give it a cover image if you want for that specific system, and you can even import your emulator. So if we go here and we just auto detect from folder, let's see, I believe I just have everything in here. Wait, nope, I lied. In this folder, if we select it real quick, it'll scan, and bada bing, bada boom. Look at all these different emulators I just have installed on the system. And let's just say we want to import, let's say Dolphin for now, nothing else. Maybe MGBA. You can, again, select all of these. Let's go with, and then hit import. And then should allow you to, if we go to add game, emulated game, we'll just scan Dolphin. Let's just go with MGBA for now. Let's go with Game Boy Advance. If we go to my GBA ROMs, over in my ROMs folder, GBA, a whole bunch of different ones. Let's do, where is it? Link to the past, select folder, and then it should be in there. If we hit import, we should be able to just launch it. It'll launch the emulator, and hopefully we can play this game. As you can see right there, yep. Link to the Past and Four Swords up on MGBA. It's pretty great. So yes, there are just so many settings that you can tinker around with. You can start it in its full screen mode, which I'll actually just launch for you right now. If we go to start full screen mode, you can just hit F11, and it is customized for an Xbox controller. I don't know if it plays right with PS4 controllers or anything like that, just because I personally don't have a PlayStation controller to try this out with, but it just lists all the games in a way with their titles, art, and it just looks nice personally to me, but I think there are better launchers for that. So if we go back to desktop mode, sort back by category, we can sort this in other ways as well. You can sort it by the covers, which you just saw in the full screen mode, but it's a little bit cleaner on there. If we sort by details, this is a very long list with no cover art. I believe you can do this with Steam as well, and maybe some other launchers. But honestly, I just like the list view. I like having all my categories on the side. I just like Alan Wake, install, more. I like having all this information just because it looks pretty to me. But again, you can customize this as well. Now, Playnite does technically have a theming system, but at the moment, they're working on a huge update that is supposed to rework some of the internal code and the theming API. So if we go to, I believe it's appearance, you can, they do have two different built-in themes with different colors. Like we can change the red. That looks kind of all right. Just if you want a themable launcher, either look elsewhere or wait for the next big update when they're going to add more features for theming. There's also all these other options where you can do different game loading, show game names on cover view, all these full screen options if you want, like, oh, there it is, theme profile default, has all the Nintendo and the PlayStation buttons. I didn't realize that before, I'm sorry. And then there's extensions, which at the moment are just different library importers, or you can export your library by just going up to extensions and export library, and it saves itself as a CSV. I don't want to save it right at the moment. So you can potentially take this to a different install of Playnite or any other launcher that might be able to read a CSV file. Now, besides that, there are a couple other limitations to this launcher. At the moment, BattleNet support seems to be fairly limited. You have to have the launcher open, and it just doesn't play nice if you don't have the launcher open and you want to import your library. It took me several tries to figure that out, even when you go over to the settings, libraries, and it tells you that there are account sync issues, and it'll take you to a GitHub page, which will try and explain it. If you want to import your BattleNet library to this, I just recommend having the BattleNet app open, import the library, and then just don't worry about it again, because all the games will just be there unless for some reason they add more games to the BattleNet launcher. I currently haven't had any of my Bethesda games show up that I know of as well, and everything else seems to work fine. Itch is just kind of iffy. It always throws these errors up here, fail to import games, but that's fine in my opinion. I don't use Itch too often, and I doubt you use Itch unless you're a big fan of indie games. So overall, I think this is just a nice looking launcher. Like, it's visually appealing, and it helps me it helps me in my quest to try and finish all the games that I want to finish, like over here. And then we just have all these need to finish. We have games that I want to start. There's so many games that I want to just at least try. And then look at all these games that I might try at some point in time, and then games I just don't care about, or things like these public test servers. But yeah, if you are in the market for trying to get all your games into one place and you haven't found anything, I'd definitely try looking at Playnite. You can find it at playnite.link. I'll leave that down in the description below where you can check it out. It has a whole bunch of other things that you can check out, like playtime counters, which you can import from Steam and GOG. Everything else doesn't work properly. I forgot to mention that. As you can see, 13 minutes on Apex Legends, but if we go to something like Counter-Strike, I've almost spent 300 hours in Counter-Strike. Now, if you want me to take a look at anything else inside of Playnite, such as extensions, other custom themes that they might have out right now, let me know down in the comment section below, along with any other universal launchers that there might be out there. This is the one that I've kind of settled on right now, along as with like other websites, because I'm still trying to look at some of those to help me finish all my games. Leave a like if you liked the video, and take a look at all the comments. Leave a like if you liked the video, and also please take a look at all the description. If you liked the video, leave it a like, and take a look at all the things down in the description below where you can pick up Playnite and everything I do on the internet, including my Twitter account. Hit that subscribe button, it'll be somewhere over here. Take a look at one of the videos on the side. One will be one I recommend to you, one will be one YouTube recommends to you, and I guess that's it for me today. My name's Gregandcin, and wow, I need to play some video games.